of Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. Thank you. My name is Leo. I'm going to be your games master this morning. This is a relaxed performance, which means we have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of people who struggle to stay still or silent for an entire hour. The lights are going to stay just like this, and while we will have some mood music throughout, there should be no loud noises per se. If you do need anything, if you feel like we can help you in some way, Naomi, just over your right shoulder there is the stage manager. Do catch her attention. If you do feel like, however, you need a break, feel free to duck out the door that you came in through and ask one of the sweet staff to readmit you when you're ready. Right, so what is this? What are we doing? This is a tabletop role-playing game, which means the four people on my left and right here play individual, unique characters in a fantasy setting. As the game master, I control the fantasy setting. So the weather, the antagonists, the allies, the horrible monstrosities that are coming to get you, and indeed, this next hour, potentially the geometry, in some respects. To try and keep things a modicum of fair, we interact with each other using dice. The most commonly used one is the 20-sided die, or icosahedron, if you're feeling nerdy. There's going to be a lot of maths, probably. We try and skate over the maths, but in general, higher numbers are better, lower numbers are worse. If somebody rolls a natural 20 on this die, that means it's a critical success, and a natural 1 is a critical failure. So no matter how easy the thing they were supposed to be doing is, they've messed it up somehow. So, like I said, we've had 65 hours of backstory. This is a continuous story. We don't do the same thing every hour. Thank you. So let's try and quickly catch you up. The four characters that we're going to meet are part of a rebellion which have been enslaved by an imperial cult over the last 5 years and made to mine a mysterious ore. They've found that this ore has time-altering, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey properties, and also is incredibly explosive. They fought a war with this cult and have sort of liberated their local area, but now are looking to finish things once and for all, and have tracked, our crack team here have tracked the cult all the way to their headquarters, to their home, and are now currently trying to investigate for whatever reason. They do have backup on the way, but they don't necessarily know that. So where we immediately left off is that they came across a pretty horrible monster in the streets of this weird city island thing that they have tracked the cult to. And we'll get back into that, and I'll describe that a bit more when it becomes relevant. But first, let's meet our players and their characters. So, starting on my right here, tell us your name, your character's name, their pronouns, and give us a little bit about what they are, where they're at.
So, hi, my name is Oz, and I'm going to be playing the part of Shelby. He's like a sort of old fellow, but he's not just a human, he's in fact a turtle, which is like a big turtle person. He's got a big shell, and he's a bard, so he can do some music and magic, and he reads fortunes on occasion. He is a he, and he's not having the best time here. It's all a bit strange, really.
Fantastic. Bex?
Hi, my name is Bex. I use she, her pronouns. My character's name is Fatchi. They're an orc ranger. They use they, them pronouns. Fatchi has been helping out with the rebellion, has been part of the ore, and due to some of the timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly properties of the ore, has aged from being an individual of about middle age to an individual of quite an old age. So they're really using their last years to try and make all of this work and to not die sooner than they need to.
Okay, well, we'll see.
Oh, great.
My name's Mark. He, him. My character is John Hisborn, which is a druid, but a dragonborn. So his magic is nature. He's also green. 7 foot. Now picture a dragon standing on its hind legs, but as a human. Then you'll get an idea what he looks like. He also loves animals, but will hurt anyone that hurts them. So think of Peter with claws.
Cool. And yourself?
Hi there, my name is Andrew. I use he, him pronouns. I'm going to be playing Hildegard, a human storm sorcerer who uses she, her pronouns. Hildegard, she's a 50-something-year-old retired adventurer who tried to settle down, buy a couple of properties, settle down, get the good life, but just when she thought she was out, they pulled her back in, and by they, I mean slavers.
Yep.
This is pensioners' hour, isn't it?
Is this?
It really is. I was about to say it's like day out at the OAP's home.
Yeah. She's got an ex-partner, a daughter, and she's very, very tired most of the time. She's been helping the resistance smuggle some of the ore around the country.
Cool.
Is she getting too old for this shit?
Repeat the name, please.
Hildegard.
Not the usual one.
I was going to say, it sounds like a sort of Han Solo between episodes 6 and 7 kind of thing. And they're a human. You said
yes,
she's a
human.
human. She's a human. Fantastic. Right. Okay. So where we left off, thank you. The rebellion have a small ship that they commandeered. That they have sailed to this island. The island, for all intents and purposes, looks like the top of a mountain city that has just breached the sea, by which I mean the sea runs straight up to the sides of these residential districts. There's no beach, there's no harbour, there's no quay. It just looks like that this thing could continue down below the sea. Right up at the top of the mountain, at the top of this city, is a temple, a ziggurat type thing that looks a bit like a lighthouse with a glowing green sort of light going around it in a pulse. That's what I wanted, pulsing. Oh, thank you, Bex. The last thing that we saw happen was Telemachus was caught in... Telemachus, the elf ranger, was caught in an indecisive moment, and in trying to save their friends from this horrible monstrosity that they've just been fighting, they decide to jump back towards the ship to try, yelling to try and get the monstrosity's attention and make it follow them. This thing is, all its limbs end in spikes, and its right arm is about 6 foot long, and it drags it along the ground. It looks elastic and not. It has sort of no features on its face. Its eyes are dull black holes, and its mouth have no teeth. It looks very much like a manifestation of loneliness and evil from the very city itself. The city itself is made out of this porous green rock. That may come up later as well.
Saying it's a manifestation of loneliness just makes me feel sorry.
Yeah, I was really so guilty.
It just
right now.
wants a hug.
Oh no.
It's
Let's
just
all
all
do
its
that.
limbs are spikes.
Bonus action to empathise.
Empathy is always a free action. Right. Have either of you an idea on how you've got yourselves into this situation?
I imagine, as a smuggler and as someone who has a very vested interest in ensuring this ore is not used for really bad things, I imagine we would kind of be trying to get some ore onto the island and trying to smuggle that in towards the... Because there's defences on... Is there defences on the island? Like, other than...
You don't know
guys?
yet.
Okay. We're going in with some ore to find out what's happening and see if we can help or kill more people.
And as you approach the side of the city in your small boat with one crate of ore,
Really useful.
yeah, you can see an owl, a sort of green speckled owl appear. Yeah, I know. Appear. And then as the owl flies, it immediately gets hit by a small pebble of lightning, and it falls out of the sky as it falls, transforming into the Dragonborn John Hisborn, who then cracks against the floor, dislocating his shoulder. You can see something is going on.
Just quickly turn the boat round and row back.
Amazing.
That lightning was not me.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We should do something.
Yes. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna row a bit faster to try and get to shore.
Yeah, fantastic. Can I get initiative rolls from everyone?
Okay.
Oh, great.
So what we're doing here is determining the order in which people are going to act when time is pressure.
Plus dex, yeah?
4?
12.
12? Yes, plus dex.
Plus dex.
9.
9 and...
Non-natural 20.
Ooh, 20. Okay, so Thatcher, you definitely go first by a country mile.
Okay, fab. And what can I see? Can I see this monstrosity? Are we still really far away?
You can't see the monstrosity from where you're at, but
Okay.
what you do see is Telemachus leaping from a building and landing in a rowboat.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll just head that way cautiously.
We'll say for the sake of
yeah.
ease that you've made it to land.
Okay, great.
Because-
I'd like to head in that direction to kind of see what's going on, and just prepare my action and sort of hold my action and hold my attacks with my bow until I see something that I imagine they are running away from.
Okay, so sprinting up the street towards what you see, John Hisborn getting up off the ground and Shelby throwing off some magic. You prepare your bow. As you come around the corner, you see this creature, this sorrow sworn, about 90 foot away from you. It's flashing and it seems to be losing its grip on reality. And yes. Yeah, it seems to be glitching out as you watch Gregor, the barbarian you know, throws a javelin at it. The javelin misses because it flickers out of existence, and Gregor, growling in disappointment and annoyance, ducks into a building to try and get out of the way. Ooh, hello. Shelby, you see a new help arriving in the form of Thatchy and Hildegard.
Okay. Do I know these people?
You would definitely know Thatchy, I imagine.
Okay.
I don't know if you met Hildegard. I don't know how social Hildegard is.
She'll probably be hanging around like one of the taverns that she owns.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Have you come from the boat? I didn't see you on it. We're heading up to that creepy old ziggurat over there, and that's probably going to kill us. Would you like to join us?
Yes, that sounds quite lovely.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Oh, why not?
We were here to scout out this area, and it looks like everything is happening up there. That's where the party is.
That doesn't look like a party to me.
Do you see the green flashing lights? There's probably someone doing all sorts of magical disco there.
Yes, I am.
Let's go to the disco.
I am a big fan of a rave.
Can we hear like a thrumming from the centre?
Roll a perception check.
Not very high.
No.
No. Oh. Well, there's probably music if we get closer, and if not, well, I have my guitar with me, so I'm sure it'll be lovely.
Meanwhile, the creature sort of starts moving to the left, and it goes out of sight. You seem to have made it think twice about attacking you with your incredible Dispel Magic attack. But just to remind you about last session, the entire city seems riddled with cultists ready to pounce on you as you move through.
As this is a city, there's probably sewers and all the underground accoutrements. I don't even know if that's the right word, but we could probably sneak our way past some of these. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I could help make us a bit more sneaky if we
Ooh.
need to be sneaky.
I think our friend here.
I'd try that. Haven't done it before, and I have a nice idea.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Still going to be past
Is
without
the
trace.
huge wibbly spike thing Derek? I don't know what his name is. Is Derek still?
Let's call him Derek.
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 Is Derek still attacking us? Is Derek retreating?
No, he
Like,
seems to be retreating.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Or
Alright.
it seems to be
It
retreating.
seems to be retreating.
I specifically said it didn't have a gender.
Okay, so
no. Yeah, so, John, how does your magic, your Pass Without Trace spell appear?
Once again, there would be a bit of draconic muttering, and 4 little imps pop out with
wow.
brooms. Run behind everybody, do a little sweep, and wave, and vanish.
Okay. Are they green? Please tell me they're green.
Of course they're green.
Of course they're green. So these 4 little green devils appear behind each of you with little brooms, and wherever you're stepping, they're sort of getting rid of the footprints. From now, for the next 10 minutes, each of you, when you roll a stealth check, gets to add an extra 10 on top of that.
Well, they are adorable.
It worked.
Okay, should we go then? Should we head off?
Yeah,
You
we're gonna
stealthing?
Yes.
And you're heading just sort of generally up towards the ziggurat.
I would like to see if there's any sort of undergroundy things that we can use. Because you said that a lot of the windows had like cultists in them and stuff watching.
True.
So
Shall we get the stealth rolls first, and then then you can decide which way you're going.
I mean, not that I want to use the stereotype of the turtle being in the sewer,
I don't think I need to bother rolling.
It's just sometimes circumstances.
but yeah, circumstances bring up things and things.
That's fine. None of us are judging you. It's
Okay.
fine.
11.
11. Okay. 11
Plus 10.
with your plus 10.
With plus 10. Oh no,
21.
29.
29.
I got 21.
I got that, but 20 lower. Natural
You got
one.
a critical fail.
I trip over my feet and swear loudly.
Sure. And this incredibly loud swear word rings out against the ziggurat. Yeah.
language.
In this situation? This seems like a very appropriate situation to use that kind of language.
Yeah, it looks like Hildegard is panicking a little bit to you guys. In fact, what happened, if you'd like me to flavour it,
Sure.
is you were walking up the street, and what you thought was a slope turns out to actually be a small staircase.
Oh.
And you didn't quite notice the way that the light bent off of it, and you just tripped over and fell onto the stairs.
Ooh.
You fell up the stairs, essentially.
Ooh. Right on the edge.
Yeah.
I'll pick you up and. Quiet.
We're like Scooby-Doo sneaking.
So which
up
way?
the
So you're going?
upstairs.
Are you going up, or
Up.
you're going down to try and find some sewers, or what are you doing?
Yeah, we're generally heading up, but looking for sewer grates,
Yeah.
open manholes. I don't know if there are manholes in the fantasy city or whatever there is.
Okay, roll an invest.
A way into
Yeah.
some sewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Roll an investigation check.
I have a background as a smuggler, so could I use my senses to try and...
Okay, I'll give you advantage on this,
Thank you.
on your investigation.
13.
13?
19.
19, fantastic. You get the sense that this whole system seems to have been literally carved out of the side of the geography.
Ooh.
So this feels like a big green mountain which has been created into a city through carving. As you're moving through the city, you become aware that the geometry is not what you think it is. For instance, the road that you're travelling down appears to curve ahead of you, and when you tried to turn with it, it turns out actually the wall was here and the road carried on straight, and it's really messing with your mind.
Okay.
You don't find any manhole covers or anything, but as you're moving very less quietly than these guys, just muttering under your breath, but these guys are very quiet, so they'll mitigate for you. As you're moving through the city, you do see a cultist, and he's sort of, you can see he's sort of, he looks like a half-elf, and he's sitting there in his red and green robes, and he's sitting there with his medallion in his hand, and he appears to be praying. You seem to have jumped this guy while he's praying. That is what you get with your 19 as you move through the city streets. The rest of you don't really find anything with your rolls except the weird geometry that is really hindering your navigation of this city.
I will put a hand on the shoulder of whoever's leading the party and just kind
Well, I think it's you with that
Probably
one.
you, yeah, you're investigating.
Then I will sort of hold up a hand and I shall point out where the cultist is praying.
What? Oh, I have an idea. Can I? I'm able to change myself to look different. Maybe I could distract some of them, and I could go up to that fellow and tell him, and perhaps anybody else, that we've gone some other way. It'll put me in terrible, grave danger. But it could be fun. Yes.
We could just kill him.
We could, but there. You said there are lots of them around there. It would probably make a lot of noise, shouting, screaming, dying, gurgling.
Kill him silently.
I mean,
With his song. Sorry. Listen, Oz and I have pun-offs. That's...
If you think it will work,
yeah.
yeah, go for it.
Okay, so
We could just try and sneak past and continue.
we could. Yes, now we know he's there. That would be helpful.
Is it possible for us to?
Yeah,
is
you
there a
can
route
just
around-
complete... Sorry to...
to route around him.
Yeah, you can just completely ignore this guy and continue going.
I'm more worried about the other people. So if we generally tell them, oh, we saw them heading that way, and we head the other way. So if you lot sneak,
Oh,
I
I
can go
see.
forward and do this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so the three members of the party, the aging orc ranger, the storm sorcerer, and the dragonborn druid all sneak straight ahead past this house, while Shelby...
Shelby puts his hand claw things, whatever turtles have, together, starts to slowly pull them
Feet.
apart, and lines of magic appeared like strings between them, and as he pulls them further apart, they twist and weave together and start to make cloth that he sort of pulls over himself, and it creates this image of a long robes and the visage of an elf, and he will start to approach the person ahead of him.
Sure.
The robes, I'm intending to make them look like...
Exactly like his.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get that. So you approach him, and you're not being sneaky, I presume.
No.
He becomes aware of your presence almost immediately as you step through the doorway into the sort of little house where he was praying. He opens his eyes and looks up. Can I get an insight check from you quickly?
Critical success.
Critical success. So as you... There you are. As
With all
you
my
look,
skill.
as this guy catches your eyes, you can see that immediately the thought process he goes through is he jumps slightly inside himself. He starts, and then his heart seems to sink behind his eyes as he sees you, and he seems to sort of resign himself to this next conversation.
What have we learned about these people and their religion so far?
Not very much. You haven't asked very many questions.
Okay.
You've learned a little bit about their symbology,
Yeah, please.
which is what we discussed previously, which is that sort of Triskelion-looking thing with the
Okay.
question mark at the top and the two bottom ones are tentacles.
The
The yellow sign, for those of you who know it in the audience. Fantastic. Oh, look at that. Some recognition. But, yeah, you actually don't know much about their religion, per se.
praise be, friend. How about
'Roll a deception check.
12 plus deception, 18.
Bloomin' bards. Yeah.
So, you know about the people who've just made landfall, yes?
Yes.
Yes. I just saw them heading around the building in that direction. Are you preparing to attack them? Are you?
Yes, I was laying a trap.
Oh, sorry. I should let you be. If
With your natural 20 insight, that is a bold-faced lie. He was not laying a trap whatsoever.
okay, I will. I'll go along with it and say, well, in that case, if you lay it over here, what I will do is, where are the rest of them? And
Well, you misunderstand, brother. I have already laid the trap.
dun dun dun.
Can I get the three of you to roll perception checks quickly as you move further up the street?
Oh, it's not bad. 18.
18?
16.
16?
14.
14. Okay. So you were leading the way, we established that.
Yes.
So to be fair, as you reach about 10 foot beyond this room and you see strange sort of glyphs carved into the floor in front of you that seem to glow. You're a sorcerer. You'll recognize these as explosive runes.
Oh
if you were to
my.
they're essentially magical landmines.
Okay.
is what you've just stopped in front of.
Oh. I have a question. If I believe that they have cast some spell, can I perhaps distract them from concentrating on this spell to get rid of whatever they have cast?
If you want.
Um,
How are you going to do that?
I am going to look at. I'm gonna look at them and say. Well, in that case, I suppose we should. Stop that. And I'll throw my hands towards him, and out of the end of my hands will flow a series of like the strands and threads come out almost like streamers, and from there, so many varied and different puns can be heard that this guy will be overtaken with the spell Hideous Laughter.
Okay, Hideous Laughter. So that's a charisma saving throw from me?
Yep.
Oh, that's a 16.
So
what's your DC?
I think it might be 16. I wrote that myself, but is it 8
So it
plus...
should be 8 plus... It should be... Yeah. So
it's
11 plus your casting mod.
Oh, 15 then.
15, okay.
Oh.
So now I'm just standing next to the cultist.
So these streamers come past, and this cultist does not seem amused by puns.
Oh,
and as the streamers just go over his shoulder, and one of them just hits him straight in the face, you watch as it just slides down his face.
Well...
And it's just there like, well, that was unnecessary.
And I draw my sword.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
He stands up a little bit shocked, considering his ally is drawing a sword on him, and he goes, "What are you doing, brother? Stop! Think about what you're doing."
Well, I'm ready to attack them. Come with me, and I'm going to run in the other direction to this lot.
Okay, roll a deception check one more time.
This is 100% splitting the party.
Natural critical success.
Oh my gosh.
You turn and run out of the building to the left, and he goes, "Oh God, okay." Pulls his dagger and chases after you, a little bit hot on your heels. He doesn't manage to see the three of your allies off to the right up the street, with Hildegard's foot just hovering over this glyph, and then removed. What are the three? The three of you, I imagine, will have heard that entire exchange and seen the two cultists, one of whom you presume is Shelby, running back off down towards the coast.
Can we still see them?
Yep. I'm giving you an opportunity to, if you want to react, you can do something.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of hoping to... I want Shelby to be back with us, ideally.
Well, Shelby, do you have a plan to that effect?
No, that was it.
That was it.
Then I'd like to...
That's how far ahead you thought.
I would like to bonus action Hunter's Mark and then shoot 2 arrows at him.
Oh, wow, okay.
I assume you don't mean at me.
No,
Okay,
the one behind.
Okay, so just as... Look, Thatchy is a battle-hardened warrior at this point. As a reaction, she just brings up her bow and releases the arrows. Roll your attack rolls.
Okay.
They're not going to be... this is a cultist, so it's not going to be...
Yeah, that's fine. 16 plus 7, so I'm assuming that
definitely hits, yeah, so that's a 23.
And then 14.
14 will still hit, yeah.
Great.
Their AC is 12.
And I get to add a d6 to... Do I get to add a d6 to both with Hunter's Mark?
Just the first one. It's just the first one in your turn.
Oh no, whenever I hit it with a weapon attack.
Oh, okay, my mistake. Both then.
Yay.
Oh, Hunter's Sense is just the first one.
Yes, Slayer's Prey is the first one.
That's it. So many rules, guys.
8 on the first hit.
No, well, she didn't.
No, I didn't.
She hunted Mark.
I hunted Mark, it's fine.
How much was it?
It was 8 on the first one and 17 on the second one.
Ooh, 25.
Yeah.
So these arrows just into the back of the cultist, one at the base of its spine and one in the neck, and he just falls flat on the floor, groaning. He's not dead. He's on 1 hit point.
I have my longsword out.
Oh, so close.
And as you approach him, he goes, "Please, wait. Let me speak."
I'm going to put my longsword to his neck and say, "If you start to incant some magical phrase, you're ended now."
I don't know any magic. I was just looking after the glyphs.
Turn them off.
I can't.
How do we get around them?
You have to know the route. I know the route. I can help.
I'm gonna pull him up by the top of his robes.
Yeah, not hard, as he's bleeding with these arrows sort of sticking out of him.
I'm just gonna grab the top arrow, put the sword away, grab the top arrow,
Yep.
and lead him very carefully through the route.
Pilloried on this arrow, he moves to the glyphs, and like as he sees the three of you, he goes, "Please, look, I don't want to be here. I'd rather be working with you guys anyway. Help me."
This has
Does
been
that seem like he's being truthful,
Insight?
or like
Roll an
he's
insight
just
check.
being like, "Please don't murder me"? Which I get that. I get that feeling a lot.
Yeah. Life is good.
What did you get, Hildegard?
50. No, sorry. 19.
19?
21.
21. Yeah, both of you. I mean, Thatchy's tortured people before. I don't know about Hildegard. I imagine she probably has.
Have
at some point.
they? Have they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh right, okay. So
We're a
Well, I
team.
mean, have they?
Thatchy's hidden backstory I am not aware of.
Well, no, my
Sure.
apologies. My apologies.
Yeah.
They're part of an orc war band. Is how
Oh
we
yeah,
met
no,
them.
no, yeah, I did forget that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is how we met them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. It's your character.
Yeah, no, probably.
But,
You're always the good cop. And
Yeah.
yeah, always the good cop, exactly.
Yeah.
But you've seen, my point is, you've seen confessions before, and this one seems genuine.
Okay. He seems genuine.
Do you check with the water horse?
Well, I mean, he's in a bad way. Do we want to let him go? Well, maybe we should heal him up, get us through, and then we send him the other way.
The way it works is he takes us through,
Yeah.
then we heal him up.
That works. That keeps us assured.
You got to give him motivation.
Can we at least take the arrows out?
Well, technically, taking arrows out is. Oh, they've
Yeah,
already
it's
done
done.
it.
Okay. And he desperately tries to stem the blood flowing from the back of his neck.
This is why you're always a good cop.
Do you wanna heal him a bit, or do you wanna leave it?
Healing word.
Healing word, okay, so just the first level.
Well, it'll just be a little.
How much is it?
One.
Maths.
Which my ability again? That
It's
is
wisdom.
Ooh, +5.
5, okay. That is 500% better than he was. So the blood sort of stops and the skin begins to grow back over the back of his neck, and you pull the one out of his back as well, I presume.
Yeah.
He's still, like, you blow on him and he'll fall over, but he's not
Perfect.
in imminent danger of death as you release this draconic healing word from your lips.
What's your name, kid?
My name is Chiron.
Chiron.
It's in the index. Okay.
Well, how about we head through then, friend?
Sure.
Is there anywhere nearby where you could get us some robes so we might also be disguised?
No, they're
Okay, that's
all
fine.
kept at the. We look after our own stuff. I mean, spare robes is not something we were given.
Okay.
What's a kid like you doing in a bad place like this with bad people like us?
Well,
We're the bad people?
We just tortured a guy. I think we're pretty bad.
2 weeks ago, I was on the winning side. No offense.
None
And he
taken.
begins to step his way over the first glyph. He goes, "Don't touch that one. That's a symbol. That's very nasty." And sort of shuffles his way around. Can I get each of you to roll an acrobatics check with advantage, just to see if you can tiptoe your way through this minefield?
I would like to do a brief song
Yeah,
for one
sure.
of us. So who's the worst at tiptoeing through minefields?
You've seen my abilities at this.
We've got a ranger. We've got an elf.
Okay.
No, human.
Human.
Oh,
Human
human.
sorcerer.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's fine.
What is your acrobatics like?
It's a 2.
Okay.
So yours is
+1.
plus. Okay, so for you again. In fact, you haven't used the previous one.
Good point.
So
It was on
it was on you.
Telemachus, yeah.
Good point. So don't explode.
Right. So you get an extra D8 to add to this roll then.
And now I go and roll well.
Ooh, that's not great.
Still add the D8 if you want.
That is, that is.
So I got 10.
10. 10 is what we need. I mean, it's pretty easy.
17.
17.
8.
22.
22. Okay, so
I hope someone can grab me.
I should have
again,
given it to you.
again, Hildegard, were you at the front or the back of the party here?
Well, I suppose I was at the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, our guide is at the front.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guide is at the front, but then of the party,
Right.
you're immediately behind the guide.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, can I get a dexterity saving throw from you as the guide is also... Oh, thank God they passed.
Can I try and
They have
catch him?
plot to do.
Catch her? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, roll it with this with advantage as Thatchy sees what you're about to do and pulls you out
Okay.
of the way.
Because I'm quite dexterous.
That's true, and you are, again, used to picking your way through the wilderness.
Okay.
It's not the first time I've picked someone up.
Yeah.
So that's a 19
Okay,
on my
so
saving throw.
So that's a pass, which means you'll take half of this.
Oh, crikey.
As he continues to roll.
So, yeah. So 22 halved 11. So as the fire erupts from this glyph, as you just accidentally step on the wrong edge of it, it engulfs both you and Chiron, both of you taking 11 points
Oh,
of
is he
damage.
unconscious?
As he is sent forward, unconscious, on the other side of the minefield.
I should not have worn heels today.
Yeah.
Are we-
As you're watching, it looks like Chiron is once again at the edge of death, bleeding out on the other side of the minefield.
Are we doing anything about
Shame,
this?
he could have been a defector.
Not too late. We just need to get there. How far away? Are we still?
You're
are we, like, in the middle of the
yeah,
glyph?
you're about 30 feet away. It's not hard.
Right.
I mean, if you pulled Hildegard, if you pulled her to the right side of the minefield as opposed to going forward,
Yeah.
because Chiron's been blasted forward. You see.
Right. Okay. So, but we now don't know what path we need to take.
There's an idea, I think.
Hidden word, Chiron.
Healing Word is indeed a ranged spell, so you can do that again.
That should be 6 this time.
6. So would you like to narrate your Healing Word as it saves Chiron for the second time in about 5 minutes?
Starting to feel like I maybe shouldn't have shot him with some arrows.
Maybe.
Once again, a bit of Draconic.
Yep.
Just here, Erexva Lex. And you'd see a little green spark head off, but instead of the normal one, this time you'll see a little imp appear.
Oh.
And he's got a medic shirt.
He's got one of those reflectors and a stethoscope.
stethoscope.
Yeah.
As he taps him, magic flows.
Fantastic. Okay.
He's not like, stay with me!
That might kill him.
Yeah, that's true.
And Chiron breathes and looks back at you. He is, like, you can see behind his eyes, he is now aware that the minefield is between the two of you and he's considering his options.
I would like to try... in fact, so I don't want to take all the thing here. Does anybody else want to say something?
Well, I
first?
was going to basically get my bow out and try to intimidate him and just say, you will help us or you will die.
Okay, roll intimidation. I'm going to give you advantage because you've almost killed this guy twice now.
With
Yeah.
the same arrows, the same bow. And I've got him on Hunter's Mark, so he's not running anywhere. Well, that's 16 plus... Apparently I have 0 intimidation as a big scary orc, though.
That's strange.
Yeah, 16.
You should have, as an orc, you should have
Is it on-
proficiency in it.
Oh, okay, I have
So-
no charisma.
Well,
so-
okay.
That's 16 either way.
Right, I see. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, and he goes, okay. And he gets up to his feet and goes, you've got to listen exactly to what I say. Can I get intelligence saves from all of you, please?
Oh.
As he begins to narrate in a very calm, sort of crystal maze way. Step to the left.
It's just
Not
a jump.
that far left, not that far left.
Twice
Okay,
the
one
inspiration.
step forward.
It's like
Is it-
Nightmare.
Is he like, it's just a jump to the left, and then
Yeah,
a step...
step to the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a 15.
15 is fine.
15.
15?
3.
4.
4. So I need the two of you to roll dexterity
Damn.
saving throws. As this time you see yourselves going wrong, and you chuck yourselves forward over the minefield to try and get to the correct side at least.
Saving throw, right?
Yeah, dex saving throw.
With the saving throw, I rolled a critical success. So
Okay,
what I want to
fantastic.
think happens is I realise I've stepped on it, and I just retreat into my shell straight away.
Did you get a nat 20?
Yeah.
I got one
He
as
also
well.
got a
Hey!
So basically, we grab each other and it's like, no!
I've rolled really well though, which I rolled a 35 on 5d8, which is pretty good. So halved to 13. So as this next explosive rune.
18.
Sorry, thank you.
Oh, thank you for
Sorry.
giving us more damage.
Sorry.
18. You're right.
So
right.
kind.
Thank you. As the explosive rune erupts, the two of you manage to throw yourself to the correct side. Shelby skittering in his shell in a bowling fashion that we've seen him do before.
Mm-hmm.
At least the whole party is now on the correct side of the minefield. Chiron looks at you and goes, "There, I helped you through. Now can you get me to safety?"
Well, I mean, I think safety's on the other side of the minefield again. You're quite welcome to go that way.
I mean, I will, but you said you'd heal me.
I'm gonna put my hand on him and just pump a cure wounds at first level.
I don't know, John. He had more than 25 hit points when you met him. Yeah, okay. So,
Yes.
how does your magic appear again?
So my
I
magic is
remember.
normally when I ping a bow. If it's a ranged thing, it's a ping of a bow without an arrow, and the magic just and it's like a force. But this one is a touch, which is a really nice punch in the arm to send some healing through it. And he will regain 10 hit points.
Fantastic. He's looking a lot better, and he goes, "Okay. We good?"
Well, can you give us a little bit of a hint as to what's up there?
Well, I just don't want you to shoot me as I walk away.
That's not going to happen.
Okay, good.
I put my bow away.
Up there, there's about 50 or 60 of us at the top. Well, you don't want to get to the top alone, not just the four of you. In fact, I'm not sure you'll even make it halfway up. Many of us are quite powerful spellcasters, and they're using the ore to manipulate their magic and make it stronger.
Well,
If you just charge straight up, the four of you are doomed. Is it just the four of you? Did you come here alone?
what I know will not happen is I would like to put sunglasses on as the rest of our team show up. But well, maybe.
Well, I mean, you remember that Aircos yesterday saw an army behind you. It never was established whether it was your army or not, but if you gave them a minute, they might need to catch up.
We do have other people with us. My friends, maybe we should just camp out and see if they arrive.
It's about 11 p.m. at this point. You can either do a night raid or camp out and see if they arrive. I can show you somewhere safe to bed down for the night.
Yeah.
I would definitely go with that option.
Okay.
All right, that's fine. It's just on the other side of the minefield again. And I'm not going to make you roll for it. And he begins to pick his way back down the side of the mountain.
Okay.
I think Thatchy would put Hildegard on their back and just this is safer. This is
So I sigh and bring my hands together and then open them up, and a circle appears in front of me, and I step through and I just appear on the other side of the minefield.
Why didn't you do that in the first
I can only do that twice a day. I
Okay,
wanted to
fair
save it up.
So Shelby teleports himself to the other side of the minefield with Dimension Door. John, have you got anything fancy?
Spider climb.
Spider climb. So you...
all of these would have been absolutely brilliant 10 minutes ago.
I know, you thought of none of them. You cast that glowing green energy, or do you have an imp for us?
Not for this one.
Okay.
In this case, it would just look like an additional 2 feet came out.
So John apparently grows an additional 2 feet, and these additional 2 feet can stick to the side of walls, and he just begins to walk along the side of the wall. As you try and keep an eye on him, he seems to jump back and forth in odd ways as he travels along the geometry that is not playing ball in this particular city. You get back down to the edge of the city. It's not where you made landfall, but you can still see your ship off to the left. At the bottom, at where you have been brought by Chiron, there is a grand staircase leading all the way up the side of the mountain for thousands of steps towards the ziggurat. It looks like essentially the main road through this city, but this does seem to be deserted. The stairs are covered in bones. And as you travel through them, you see that some of these bones actually already have weapon marks on them and have already been cast aside from reanimation. Some of the skulls are warped, and you can see bone plates with spikes, teeth which have grown long and canine. You can see all manner of species in amongst these bones. Chiron waves you over towards a building. He goes, "This is where I've been sleeping."
Can I, just looking at these skeletons, can I tell how old some of them are?
Sure. You can get a nature check for that. Can I get a perception check from everyone else as you look out back east towards the land?
Only 7.
7. I mean, it's not hard. Some of these are very, very flippin' old. Like, one of them, as you pick up the bone itself, it actually just it's that brittle, it just breaks in half as you pick it up. 12. I'm not going to give you years, but yeah. 12?
13.
20 total.
20,
Nice.
okay.
Total. Yeah.
Thank goodness.
So modified 20.
Yep.
So as John and I've forgotten your name, Thatchy. As John and Thatchy look out towards the east, towards where they came from, they can see lights shimmering on the horizon. But your sorcerer's eyes, you're used to looking out at the sea in your smuggling life, and these lights manifest themselves into a series of boats that seem to be approaching from the east. And it does seem that by morning at least, the rebellion will have arrived en masse to back you up here on the island.
That's a good saying. That's a very good
Thanks,
saying.
God.
And as our players await their backup, that is where we're going to have to leave this hour of Adventurers Wanted. Thank you very much. If you did enjoy the show, please do spread the word about it. We're on all the social medias as Adventurers Wanted, at most of them. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and indeed on Twitch, where we're live streaming right now. However, we're on Twitter at Adventurers250. This was, like I say, the 66th hour, which means that we have 34 hours of this plot left to go. If you want to see where it goes and the twists that we have left planned, please feel free to come back. But if you can't keep up with us here live in person, you can follow us on Twitter or indeed on Twitch, and you'll still be able to keep up with the story as it progresses. We also have a Patreon and a donate page on our donate button on our website. We do this every month in London. We do free play events as well to try and bring D&D as a hobby to a wider, more inclusive audience. Yes. Just before we say goodbye, I'm going to hand over to our players who get an opportunity to plug something. We'll start with yourself, Bex, either within the Fringe or without it.
I'm going to plug some more fringy kind of things. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, you will probably like a group called Jolly Boat, who are normally based in London. I can see some people like, yeah. They have 2 shows this year. One's at 5 o'clock at Subway. One is at, I think, 7:30 at the Liquid Rooms Annex. Maybe it's all online, but one of their shows is called Bards Against Humanity. And the other show is called Why Do Nerds Suddenly Appear? So it seems really fitting. It's a lot of musical comedy, piratey fun. It's great. You should definitely go check them out.
Great.
And get there early because they're free show and there is always a queue.
Oz.
Hi, I'm Oz, and I'm on a journey to help people level up their skills at being a game master, which is what our attractive game master here was doing today.
Attractive.
I went from venerable to
venerable,
attractive.
yeah, okay.
Stunning.
Stunning.
And I can be found on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube under the username OzMills, and I'm going to be putting up videos on exactly how to do something such as this very soon. And I also have cards here if you'd like to take them away today.
Great. Mark, I almost called you John there. Mark.
It happens. I would like to suggest the Edinburgh Games Hub. They're just around the corner. If you like games, D&D, anything of that nature, they've got a catalogue of over 900 board games. Yes, 900 board games. And they've got event evenings, groupless gamers on Thursdays. It's a great place just to take a few friends, go along, and they're always welcoming, and there's always somebody to help if you're stuck with games. It's a good place just to lose a few hours.
Cool. And Andrew.
I'm June Cetra on Twitter. I very occasionally stream on Twitch, and I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Well, all that remains for me to do is to call for a round of applause for our players on the stage. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Leo!
We do have a very quick turnaround before